Welcome to my channel. This is the very first video that I'm going to be posting on this YouTube channel, and I couldn't think of a better way to do it. Timing just worked out to where I got in the new CR920 from Shadow Systems, my new carry gun, and possibly yours too. It is a complete coincidence that I'm wearing this Shadow Systems shirt today. I know it makes me look like a shill or whatever, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the company. They have a great YouTube channel. They look like they have a lot of fun at their organization in Plano, Texas. These guns are American made in Texas. If you get in a self-defense situation with your gun and the police take it from you, as long as you are not the criminal, they will give you another one. So they not only support their guns and stand behind their guns with great customer service, but they stand behind the people that use them as well, which I really, really like. I got the War Poet MR920, I don't know, it's got to be a little less than a year ago, and ever since I have been absolutely in love with these guns. Not long ago, I picked up the DR920, which is their Glock 17 sized, full-size gun. Their guns come with the magwell. Absolutely love that. Kind of corkscrews the gun up onto your hands. Put a Trijicon RMR on that one. I've got a Holosun 509T on this one. But today, I want to talk about the CR920. The CR920 was announced in January of this year at SHOT Show. And as soon as I saw them announce this gun, I was like, well, I absolutely love my MR920. I think that's going to be my next carry gun. And I just got back from the range today from shooting about 200 rounds through it. I brought a lot of rounds with me, and I actually I was at the range with my helmet camera on, or my ear pro camera I should say. So hopefully I've got some good footage, and I'll just be playing that over top of while I'm talking here. The CR920 is based on the Glock 43. And before I get a little too far into this, you might be wondering, do the Shield Arms mags work in this gun? And what about Glock 43X mags? Do they work in this gun? So I actually took those magazines with me to the range, along with the 13 round to 10 round magazine that came with this gun. And you'll see, I'll talk about that in a little bit. The results might be a little bit surprising depending on how much you've used those magazines. But the CR920 is the smallest gun I've shot. I'm actually selling my Shield Plus. The gun just never, I had the original Shield in 2012, and that was my carry gun for a long, long time. And I don't know, just wasn't my cup of tea. Shield Plus, it's a great gun, but for some reason, I don't know, there was just something about it that just wasn't working with me. Great gun, great trigger. I think it's just the height over bore, kind of the axis. I don't know, what's it called? The grip angle, all that kind of verbiage. But I mean, it's a great gun. You can see the two next to each other here. Let me got my monitor here so I can kind of see what you guys are seeing. So you can see them back to back, about the same length on the slide. It looks like the shield is a little bit hanging down here. The shield's a little bit bigger. I would say that the CR920 is just a little bit longer on the slide actually. But I mean, for the most part, pretty much the same size gun. And the Shield Plus can also hold 13 rounds as well. That's what the Plus means in comparison to the original Shield. But so that was my carry gun before, but I don't know what it was about it. Like I said, there was something about the way that the gun felt in my hand that it did not flow with me. So I was excited about this CR920. Initial impressions, I absolutely love this gun. I'm gonna start rolling in some footage here of me shooting it at the indoor range. I can't wait to go to the outdoor range and spend a little bit more time with it. First mag or two, I think I had one failure to feed properly, but I think it was my fault because I did like a press check load. So I kind of loaded it from the front like that. And I don't know, I think it's just always safer to just load like from the back, a slingshot method. This gun I've loaded a bunch of times with the MR920 with the press check method, and I've never had a problem. But so I think that was the problem. It's always just safer to let that slide rack all the way back and let the inertia go forward and bring that round the way that it's supposed to. After that, I never had an issue with it this whole time. Like I said, shot about 200 rounds through it. The gun is accurate. The trigger, if you are used to a smoother Glock-like trigger, you're gonna love this trigger. If you're used to Shadow Systems triggers, you're gonna be right at home with this trigger. It is a very crisp. Let's see if I can show you. Wall that's it right there. I mean, boom, little bit of creep right there. You saw that, click. So great trigger, not too light, not too heavy. I think it's perfect for a carry gun weight, pull weight. Let's see what the MR920 feels like. This gun's got thousands of rounds through it, so let's see how this one feels. It's a little crisper, so I don't know if that's on purpose or because the gun is well worn in. I would love it if the more I shoot this gun, it would feel like that. But you know, shooting these baby pistols, micro pistols, like the Shield or whatever, it's never been the most fun thing. But if it's the gun that you're carrying on you, it's something you have to do. This gun, I feel like I could just go shoot it and have fun. The CR920. I feel like I need to, one of the biggest problem with this gun right now is the magazine supply. I would love to get some more magazines for it. It comes with a 13 and a 10, and I would love to I'm not going to buy any more 10s. I just want to buy, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 more 13 rounders. This thing was getting super hot. You'll see in some of the footage that this thing was smoking, burning off some of that oil. I did do a quick little clean of it before I went to the range. With it. And some of you might be wondering if you know about this gun. This gun is going to come in like this. This is the Elite slide or combat slide, where there's just serrations on the side right here, but there is not a mounting plate for Optic right on this one. I bought this through Palmetto State. This gun is very hard to find right now as of April 2022. Very difficult to find. I thought Palmetto State had a photo of this gun and you could see that there was the Optic plate right here. I thought that's what I was buying. Did a little more research on the model number of the one that I bought, and apparently it was this one, of course. But you know, not a big deal. I decided, you know, it's my carry gun. I'm gonna be fine with it. And then whenever, I'm a big supporter of Warrior Poet Society, so whenever they do their War Poet edition, just like the War Poet edition MR920, I will probably purchase that if I do decide that I want an Optic on my carry gun. That's up to you, personal preference if you want an Optic on your carry gun. I kind of like it without, to be honest. I haven't shot a Shadow Systems gun very much without an Optic on it. But these are really good sights. Blacked out rear, and then you get a nice yellow light right there. Can I make it dark in here? It needs some light to be able to pick that up. Since I haven't shot these micro guns a lot lately, I noticed that I needed to check myself on my grip. So as I was shooting the gun, I was having a little bit of trouble with the gun slipping out of my hand on my thumb. And I was noticing, because they built in a little bit of an accelerator cut on there, similar to, not as aggressive as the MR920. This one has a ledge that's a lot more beefy to rest your thumb on. This one's a little bit more flush, which is a little bit of a bummer. I would like maybe on the next version of the CR920, maybe they can make that ledge a little bit more, since smaller guns are snappier. But I checked myself on my grip and I was not gripping quite tight enough. So I've been messing around with the Robert Vogel style, where you press out, but then you also flare out and kind of vice the firearm into your hand a little bit more. And as I was doing that, I seemed to be having much better success with the gun. You should see in the footage that the gun was staying pretty solid in my hands after I was getting used to it a little bit. But you know, these guns, if you shoot 43X, 43, whatever, these micro guns they're snappy. There's not as much beef around them to absorb the recoil. I mean, this DR920, I haven't shot it a ton yet, but you know, it's going to absorb a lot more recoil. Holsters, you're going to find, I bought this holster online a while ago. This is a 1791 tactical, and it says Glock 43X or 48 MOS. So it fits, nice little click. You can hear it perfectly fine. Haven't carried it yet. Like I said, these are my first shots. I want to break the gun in and get used to it before I start carrying it. But so any 43X style holster should be fine, as long as the distance between because usually in these holsters, where the grip, or where it actually locks into your holster, is usually somewhere like on the trigger guard and whatnot. So as long as that distance is the same, it'll work. So just keep that in mind when you're buying holsters. You'll notice also, going back to the grip a little bit, that I did put the Talon Grips on here. I just went on Amazon. I've installed so many Talon Grips on guns, it's insane at this point. This is the Talon Grip just for the Glock 43. So it's not perfect. It doesn't fit exactly perfect, but I got exactly what I wanted out of it. I took the Talon Grip and just cut it into thirds. So I got this side, back, and this side, and I just installed them individually. That's the first time I've ever done that. Normally I do them in whole pieces here. I bought the Gen 4 Glock 17 ones for this one, and the Gen 4 Glock 19 for this one. So that's why it has the finger groove cuts there. I guess I probably could have just got a Gen 5 and it would have been fine. But I haven't had any problems with it. Love Talon Grips. It just always gives me that extra little, I don't know, that extra little sucked into my hands, like this gun is a part of me kind of a feeling. Let's talk about the magazines really quick. This setup's a little funky right now. We're in the middle of moving, so sorry if that's distracting at all. So here are the magazines that come with the gun. I'm sure you've seen these already in a lot of the other videos. I've been searching and searching for more and more videos on YouTube for this gun, but I just keep coming across the same ones from SHOT Show 2022. Comes with a 13 round and a 10 round. Like I said, I just want to buy more 13 rounders, and if I need to have a more flush fit, I will just use the 10 round on the gun in the waistband. So 10 round is nice and flush. For me, my pinky can definitely hang around a little bit, but if I get that nice tight master grip, I'm gripping right there and the pinky is just on the edge right there, and I've got that nice tight grip. Bang, 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 and we're good. 13 round mag, obviously, a lot more comfortable. Pinky is fully rested on there and fits absolutely perfectly. So no issues with these mags at all. Everything was perfect with these, and I hope that Shadow comes out with a lot of these on the market. Just flood the market with these so that we can buy them. I've sold my Canic guns because even though they're fantastic guns, I couldn't find magazines for them, and I got tired of having to reload mags every two mags. So sold those. Canic needs to figure that out for sure. So let's talk about the Glock 43X magazine and the Shield Arms magazine. I'll put the footage up here. The 43X magazine worked. It worked okay, but there was some jams. So it feels great. It goes in and it clicks. It clicks in right there. Nice, no issues. Slides right in. And the 43X 10 round mag, this is the polymer Glock mag. It just jammed quite a few times. I think I had 2 jams on I think I had a full mag of 10 rounds, so it jammed twice. So I'm not planning on using these anymore at all. Just was curious if it would work. And then the Shield Arms mags here, you see that I'm trying to force it in there and it does not click in. I can pull it right back out. 43X mag goes in, click, audible click. That one's hard to fit in, so obviously it's not, this magazine is a little fatter than the magwell on the gun. And it fed, but I don't know if you can tell in the video footage, but I was holding the gun to where I was trying to brace the bottom of the magazine and kind of put some force up so that the feed didn't come down. But I don't know if you change the mag release out on this Shadow CR920 if it'll work more. I have the Shield Arms mag release in my Glock 43X, and obviously it works fine with these. Since these Shadow mags are metal as well, I would guess that the mag release is metal. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't taken it apart, but I'm not planning on taking that mag release out. There's no way that I would change that out. I think that this one is perfectly fine, especially if I can get more 13 round mags. Maybe Shield Arms will come out with something else that might fit better. I doubt they would come out with mags that work just for this CR920. Since Shadow is growing in popularity from what I can tell, as they should. Every time I go in the gun store, in my opinion, there should not be a Shadow Systems gun sitting there. They should all be bought out because they're so fantastic. I don't see why anybody would buy a Glock again. Personally, I'm not saying that I'm biased because of any reason other than I just absolutely love my Shadow Systems guns. What else can I talk about? Again, should you have a optic on your carry gun, that's totally up to you. That's not what I'm really going to talk about in this video. If I bought the War Poet edition that I heard them say they're going to make for the CR920, I'll try out one of the new Holosun. They're like the EPS carry, I think is what it is. I'll try that out on there, and I like to support Warrior Poet Society, so I might do that at some point. But I think right now I am perfectly fine having a carry gun that does not have an optic on it. Most of the time, from what I've researched, if you ask people that's been in a self-defense shooting and they had to pull their concealed carry gun, they never even saw the sights, red dot or not. They don't even remember how many times they fired. You know, you're not really aiming, okay, let me shoot him here, let me shoot him there. You're just trying to stop the threat, bang, 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 bang. So I like to train that way a little bit at the range to where I just shoot, just point of aim right here, boom, and then just fire without actually trying to line up the sights. At the range with this gun, I was definitely trying to do front sight focus, front sight on whatever I was shooting, and I would catch myself, you know, blurring that target to front sight. And whenever I would focus on the front side, I would definitely be more accurate. I think on one of these, I'll roll the footage in here, where I went out, presented, bang, and I was dead center bullseye. And I think, I forget, I'm bad at the distances, but I think it was 10 or 12 yards, which is good. So in the footage, anything that you see that is a miss, that was off, that's totally me. I would love to maybe put this, I have one of those pistol, like what are they called, the V-shaped thing that you can put on a tripod to brace the gun, and that way take any of my flaws out of it and really just see where it's hitting. I do think that it's shooting a little low for 7 to 8 yards away, so it did feel like I was having to aim a little bit higher. I don't really know how you would adjust these unless you were to shave down the front, which I'm not going to do. So it's probably just going to be just knowing your gun and knowing exactly where to shoot at what distance. Of course, as we all should. But I mean, I definitely got some dirt in there. It's not dirt, but you know what I mean. Lots of carbon and from the rounds and whatnot. So this thing's ready for a clean for sure. I usually clean my guns after I go to the range anyway. But everything's looking pretty good. I'm not going to do a ghost connector or anything like that on here. I think it's perfectly fine the way that it is. I absolutely love the trigger. Every time I buy a Glock, let me show you my Glock 17. So this past year, I've actually been doing a lot more private gun sales here in Florida. You can do that and everything's kosher. So every time I buy a Glock, I actually had a Glock 45, traded it for this Glock 17 MOS Gen 5, and I determined that I would rather have the DR920. So I'm trying to sell this Glock 17 MOS. As much as I love Glock and I love the reliability of Glock, every time I get one, I just have to do so many things to it to make it. And it's not that I'm, maybe I am. Maybe you can decide, but I'm a little bit particular with how I like the gun to feel in my hand. So stock Glock trigger shoes are garbage. So I had to change this one out to, I forget which one this is. I think it's a Tyrant Designs or something. Trigger shoe. So that's a little bit better. I had to put a ghost connector in here. I usually put like a Vickers mag release. The mag release on the Shadow Systems is pretty flat, but it has a really nice feel to it and it works really well. Oh, and before I forget too much, I didn't want to forget too much. On the CR920, slide lock reloads, everything was fine. It was slide locking back. I guess I was using the right ammo. I put through the SIG 365 ammo that they have, which is probably the carry ammo that I'm going to use. Absolutely no issues. I just wanted to mention that before I kept going and forgot. I usually do a different mag release on a Glock. Obviously the Talon Grips. I never put a sight on this one. I haven't even shot this gun yet. I got it and I just never shot it. I put money into it and I still never shot it and I decided to sell it. So I'm going to lose money, but it is what it is. I think that's all I did to this one. I think, no, I always forget what this was called. The takedown. I always forget the name of it. I like the one that's in steps, so it's like small, bigger, bigger, and it makes it easier to break down. The Shadow ones are very pronounced and they're easy to take down. So that's my deal with Glock and why I'm just a big fan of Shadow, and I just don't see myself buying another Glock ever again now that Shadow exists. Because if you've probably heard this before, but if you didn't, if you were to upgrade a Glock with everything that like this Glock 17, that everything that a DR920 has from Shadow, you know, with all the slide work, the internals are pretty much the same from what I understand. They do have the flatter trigger, every little aspect, the barrel and all that, and it being optic ready. Most of them are optic ready. You're looking at like $1,600 if you were to upgrade this. These guns are, you know, depending on which one you get, are around $1,000 bucks. So you're actually saving a lot of money and you're getting a fantastic gun. Man, just holding this 17 in my hand feels so bulky and blocky. Then I put this DR920, and your hands are different than mine, but this Glock 17 is just so fat. I guess it's just my hands. I guess I just prefer a little bit slimmer of a grip. And I do like to, they do have interchangeable back straps on most of their guns. The CR920 does not have that option, but the MR and DR, you can change that. That way it'll change your grip angle so that your natural point of aim will be more of where it should go for you. It's not really for a fatter grip or skinnier grip. I think that's more on the sides. I'm not sure. I'll have to compare it. Yeah, it's definitely looking a little skinnier. But that's totally personal preference for you. And I don't know, man. I keep this TLR 7A on this gun, on the MR920. Just every time I go to shoot these guns, these Shadow Systems guns, I just love shooting. It's just a great day because I'm out there shooting a gun that just feels so perfect in my hands and I'm accurate with. And that, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Get a gun that you're accurate with. Yes, don't blame the equipment and the gun for your failure. So I know that if I go out and I'm shooting really poorly, it's me, not the gun. This is a Glock. Glocks are accurate. They're perfectly fine for any situation, really, that you need a handgun for. And I'm sure if I trained with it more, I would get a lot better with it. But out of the box, the Shadow guns just seem to fit with me a lot better. You take down and put these Shadow guns back together exactly the same way as a Glock. If I can do this correctly. So there we go. So about 200-300 rounds through the CR920 right now. Absolutely loving this gun. I feel like this gun is going to absolutely blow up for concealed carry purchases. I know the 365 is still a monster in the market. I shot one time. I think I shot maybe 8 rounds. The guy at the range let me shoot his. I let him shoot my staccato and he let me shoot his 365. And I didn't like it. I don't know. The trigger, obviously the build quality and everything was fine, but trigger, the sights, I don't know. Just the feel, the grip of it just wasn't for me. But it sounds like a lot of people like that gun, and it's a SIG, so I'm sure it's great. But I can't imagine that this CR920 is not going to be a big deal. But right now, like I said, as of April 2022, it's really hard to find. If you can, check sportsmansguide.com, and Palmetto State seem to have them. Last I checked, they weren't in stock, but maybe you can sign up on their list. How I got mine was I signed up through Palmetto State Armory to be notified when they're back in stock. I got a notification, purchased immediately. I think it was $600 or $700, somewhere around there. And then I had to pay a $30 transfer fee to my FFL. That's at Gun Gallery here in Jacksonville, Florida. So what do you think? Let me know, and thank you for checking out this video. This is my first one on this channel. I am a photographer, videographer in Jacksonville, but I have another channel, but I decided to make a different YouTube channel so that maybe it makes a little more sense for me to post about gun stuff on a gun specific channel. And that way I'm not confusing algorithms and things like that. But I look forward to hearing from you. You guys are just like me. We just on YouTube looking up videos, trying to make the right purchases, doing some research, and just for the love of firearms and the Second Amendment and all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate you guys watching. Anything that you want to know about the CR920, put it down in the comments, and I will either go test or let you know my findings. And I appreciate you guys watching. Hit subscribe if you'd like to, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Oh, and you can also find me at Touch Feel Carry on Instagram. I post stuff, knives, guns, whatever. So check me out over there.